How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 25 called Rancho Fundo. And we're going to start with a description from the mod hub, and it reads, Rancho Fundo is a map with a pleasant climate that is similar to some regions of Brazil. The map has small and medium-sized fields and a pronounced terrain slope. However, it is also possible to take the step of becoming a large farmer in flat terrain with larger areas. Or you can expand existing fields and create new ones. Forestry is not neglected on this map either. Simply buy an area where there are already lots of trees. Near the city you will find many merchants where you can sell your products. Animals can be bought and sold at the animal dealer. It is also possible to buy an area for limestone extraction. You can either use on your farm or sell it to the limestone merchant. The map already has 3 completed farms. The map has 84 fields and some areas where you can create your own fields. There are no mods required for this map. This map was created by Namag Mods and it's 393.96 megabytes to download. Let me go ahead and back up here because for some reason you start right in the middle of the street. Take a look at the map. This is what it looks like. You start out by owning farmlands number 1, and that is the main starting farm as well as a barley field that is ready to harvest. If we go over here, go ahead and click on that, you can see this area down here is what you own, and there is your barley field. Let's go ahead and click off of that and go back to farmland view because it's just easier to view that way. There we go. So you cannot purchase all areas of the map, and the prices of the map do vary. So you do get some of these smaller fields where it's relatively expensive for the size that you're getting, but it's not too bad in comparison to, pretty much everything else on the map. 70,000 to start out for this one here. Got one for 271,000, 386,000, 231,000, 235, 136. We got a big kind of open grassy area for 589. We got this one here for 441, 943. We got bits of forestry kind of laced in here, like this one here for 301,000. We also got this big area here for 851,000. Also here, 726,000, and what appears to be the biggest one for $1.07 million. So there's quite a bit of range, but it does seem to be expensive for the amount of land that you are getting. We do start out with an animal pen. You can see we start out with a cow barn. Contracts are available on this map. We do not start out with any production chains, and if we scroll over to our statistics, you can see we do have collectibles available on this map, 50 of them to be precise. If we take a look at mods specific to this map, starting out with our buy menu here, there's nothing here for our buy menu, but under the build mode, if we take a look under buildings first, and nothing under sheds to start out with, but here under silos, we scroll all the way down, you will see the Mega Silo Deep Ranch Rancho Fundo mod. That is a mod that is specific to this map. There is nothing under silo extensions, nothing under constructibles, nothing under containers, nothing for tools, but under farmhouses. Again, we scroll all the way down, you will see Rancho Fundo, a couple of them here, as you can see. So these are mods that are also specific to this map. There's nothing at all under the entire productions tab, but under animals, if we take a look here, under cows, we'll scroll all the way down, you'll see Cow Barn Rancho Fundo. That is one specific to this map. There is nothing under horses, pigs, sheep, chickens, bees, or others. Under our decorations tab, there's nothing for fences, nothing for lights, but under others, if we scroll all the way down, you'll see we do have some things here for Rancho Fundo, mod specific to this map. And then lastly, under our landscaping tab, there is nothing at all under this tab whatsoever. So going ahead and starting out here, where you start out on your kind of journey, to my right here we have the bread bakery sell point. Behind me, just down here, we have the farmer's market sell point. And then right here we do start out with a motorcycle, but I am absolutely trash at driving these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive just down the road to the shop area, which is right here, thankfully. We're just going to park this thing right here, just get off of it because, again, I'm terrible at it. And our shop trigger right inside the doorway here. We'll go ahead and purchase us one of these internationals. Why not? And repair trigger right over here. Head around the side over here. We'll grab the international, and then we will head out to the rest of the map. Now, starting off in this direction, pavement dead ends and starts to go down this windy, twisty little hillside descent. And as we continue to go down here, we're going to come up to our next point of interest, just tucked away way, way down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeehaw! Just got to be careful as we're driving because, whew, it gets a little crazy. Through the water, directly in front of me, right here is the Lime Station. This is a buy point. And as you can see on the map there, down there is 84 and 85. Those farmlands there, those are purchasable areas for those big piles of lime in the background. So lots of lime for you to be able to get your hands on right off the bat if you want to buy the land. Now we're going to turn back around and we are going to ascend the hillside, hopefully with a little bit more grace than we descended. I've always been told that going down is the easy part. But climbing back up is not necessarily the fun part. Nope, I think I missed my turn. No, I didn't. It's right here. And then we'll go back here first. Oh, I did miss my turn. It was right there. Okay. But we can still connect to it, so that's fine. Tucked away back here, we have the sawmill. We'll go ahead and go up to the wrench here. $300,000 to purchase the sawmill. We have our input here with a wood cell trigger right there, and our output right behind the truck, right over here. Go back into the truck. And now we backtrack just a little ways. As we continue around, make a left into here. And now we are at the animal dealer. Go ahead and stop right there. Now, if you want to go ahead and purchase animals for your pens and pastures, you can go to this area here and use this icon directly, or you can use this icon at any of your pens and pastures that you own around the map. If you use this icon directly, though, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and delivering them for you to whatever pens and pastures you have located around the map. Now, it does get a bit expensive. If we were to buy them directly from here, let's say an adult cow, that's an extra $100 per adult cow. So that adds up relatively quickly. Now, you can save that money by bringing an animal trailer to this location, parking it roughly around here, activating the animal dialog box with the trailer within it, and then you load your animals directly into the animal trailer. You then take the animal trailer to the pens and pastures, and you unload from the trailer into the pen and pasture, deliver it yourself. You save that delivery fee. Now we'll go ahead and get turned around. We'll make a left. Now, carefully go over these bumps because they are pretty aggressive. Now right here is roughly where we started out at. Going in here. Ooh, like I said, pretty aggressive. Right here, we have the Ranch Grain Mill sell point right here. Wait, was that right? Let me just double check that just real quick. Ranch Grain Mill. Okay, I was correct. And then across the street over here. Tucked way back here, on top of that ramp, This is the sugarcane factory, but for some reason I didn't locate that in my... Or sugarcane dealer, I apologize. But I didn't put that down in my notes. I don't know why my notes are incomplete like that. But that's okay. So now, I'll head back off in this direction here. And follow this pavement. Way up here. Follow this to the left. Go across the street. And now tucked away back here, that is the grain mill sell point. And really, I ought to say a grain mill sell point. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a little while. So heading out on the road here. Head across the bridge. As we head down the road, coming up here to my left, that is the gas station buy point. And now coming up to my right, go up here. Tucked away back there is the rural restaurant sell point. Go down here. Now tucked away in that building over there, you can make it out right there at the top of the screen. You've got your grain mill sell point. That's it. That's it. That is the name. So just to show you exactly what I was talking about. Grain mill sell point. Grain mill sell point. 2 grain mill sell points. So just be aware that there's going to be a difference between the two. If there's a price difference, you're going to want to pay attention as to which one is the one that you're intending to take things to. Now, directly in front of me is the warehouse buy point. This is where you can go ahead and purchase all of your palleted goods, base game, as you can see here. And then, hopping back in, following this around back, right in front of me is the warehouse sell point. Again, going over these curbs, be careful because they are quite aggressive. Now heading over here, one more time. Limestone merchant buy point right here, and limestone merchant sell point right there. Turning around, going back up the hill. And now we need to go back and backtrack quite a ways. We need to go all the way back towards the rural restaurant sell point. As we just continue on and taking in the views. Such a gorgeous map. Alright, now coming up here to my left, this is where we need to break off. And we need to do a little bit of 2-tracking. Actually, that's going to be pretty much the rest of the map tours on these little 2-track trails. So we follow this around. Going around this monster of a field off to my left. Make a left. Continuing to follow it around. And now coming up here, straight ahead, is the next farm. So this is going to be farm number 2. Farm number 1 being reserved for our main starting farm. Farm number 2, if we pull up here, is going to be farmland number 95. Now, to kind of show where we've been and where we started out right here in the middle of town. We took in the bread bakery sell point, then the farmer's market sell point. We drove that little motorbike just down the street here to the shop area repair trigger, and we drove around this country road down the mine to the lime station. We then continued to follow, going back, continue to follow this back up. We came up and around to the sawmill and then to the animal dealer, came down and around, and we took in the ranch grain mill and then over to the sugarcane dealer. We then came back. Why is this not? I don't know why it's not deactivating the sign there. So anyways, went back up to this road here, across and over to the grain mill, and then all the way down past the gas station here, the Royal Restaurant, then up and around to the grain mill again, then to the warehouse and warehouse sell point, over to the limestone merchant and limestone merchant sell point, backtrack all the way out to about here, and then followed this around all the way up to farmland number 95 for $283,704. We can go ahead and purchase this, as we will, and now we get a few pop-ups that come up. We got our silo off to the right there, and then climbing up the hill, we do have a sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger up here. Now I will show that these are kind of trapped behind here. Now you can run and jump over this little gate. What appears to be supposed to be a gate here, but there's no trigger, at least that I can find, that will open these. So you can jump over, you can use the sleep trigger, and you can use the wardrobe trigger right here, just like so. Go ahead and jump back over, and that's it. I mean, that's the whole farm. There's storage, and that's about it. So now we're going to follow our tracks back out. And as we continue along, we want to follow this all the way down and around. And this is where we're going to go ahead and break off, right over here. Whoops. Now, if I remember right, it's this way, yes. And then make a right. Continuing to go around this field as it connects to this road. Make a hard left. And now we are here at farm number farm number 3. So if we take a look at the map once more, we were here at farm number 2. We followed this road all the way down and around out to here, followed it back up to the main road, and then over to here. Now, if we're here at farmland number 80 for $103,128, we can go ahead and purchase this, as we will, and we get a wardrobe trigger and a sleep trigger. That's it. That's all it is over here. You do get some, forestry bits and all that, so you can work on some trees and doing whatever you want to do with that, but there's no storage, there's no equipment, there's no nothing there. So we're going to continue to follow this road down a little ways. Continuing down south. Past this bridge here. And now we are here at our main starting farm. Let's go ahead and stop here. Walk ahead just a little bit. And let's take a look at our starting equipment. Let's go to our screen here and to vehicles. We start out with the Alba Universal Bucket, the Aprilia RX 125 motorcycle, the FarmTech EDK 650 trailer, the Great Plains Solid Stand 1500 seater. Got the International here is the one I purchased. This does not come with your starting equipment. The John Deere 3650. We got the, I think that's Notch, Crossmax 300, that is a cultivator. Massey Ferguson 8570 harvester, the harvester header, and the header trailer. We got the Quickie Q4M front loader, and that is it. Not a ton of starting equipment, but just enough to kind of get you up and running. Now over here we do have our sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger. And let's go ahead and hop into the truck here really quickly. Starting over here, we have our silo with an input to the left and output directly in front of me. Whoops, oops, 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 oops. I forgot about the silo there. Following this around, up the hill, opening the gate, and now right here is our cow barn. Go over here, we have room for 106 cows here. Oh, hey, that's something new. Down the bottom right hand corner, it actually shows 0 of 106. That's amazing. I don't have to click into those anymore. That's awesome. Food goes here. Now, it does say that straw and manure are within this cow barn. So my best guess is that you can blow straw in right in this area here, and somewhere in this general area you're going to be able to collect the manure as well. I'm not sure exactly where because there's no triggers or anything that shows where it will spawn. But yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like that you can now see the how many are in it without actually having to click on the trigger. Now if you follow this road up the hill, out the second gate, you can see tucked away up here we have another farm. This is going to be farm number 4, and once again we were here at farm number 3. We followed the road along the riverside here, coming all the way down to our main starting farm. We then came through, up and around to farmland number 97 for $69,888. We can purchase this, and sleep trigger and repair trigger. That's it. That's it for this one. A little bit of storage, little itty bitty storage spot, but that's about it. Now, one thing I want to show on this main starting farm that I might be making a leap as to what this is, but I just want to show it off because it kind of caught my attention. So if we follow this down to our main kind of starting field, which is off to my left, I'm going to stop here and walk over, just over here. Now again, you got this beautiful, beautiful landscape, the river right off to my right, and right here you have this little pond. And really cool because it's got a little bit of fish activity here, but this is what caught my attention. This little spinning water wheel right here. This, I don't know why, but it just caught my attention because of the movement, I think. And I went into the build menu right here. And if I swing around, you can see the water wheel turns blue when you hover over it. If you select it, it says small wind energy converter. Now, I think, I'm not sure, I think this might be a generator. So just an FYI, this might actually bring you a little bit of extra money. So don't come over here and just delete it right away. Just full warning, this might actually generate some money. Now, there's nothing in the description that indicates that or anything like that. I might just be making a leap because of the naming convention, but that's my best guess. So now, I'm going to hop back into the truck, and we're going to head out to our next set of interests. Now we're going to follow this road quite a ways, actually. So we got to go up and around. All the way out here. As we continue here, we're going to make a left. here we're going to stop. So once again, we take a look. We were up here at our, I think this is farm number 4, just outside of our main starting farm. We then came out and around across the river, down and around here, over to here, over to farmland number 96. It can be purchased for $25,632. We will do that. And if we go down the road, just across this bridge over here, we have a little house just on top of the hill with a wardrobe trigger and a sleep trigger inside. Well, not inside, but beside it, right over here. Right there. So that's it for that one. Again, several of these are very small, just basically just sleep triggers and wardrobe triggers. And others are more established farms. 3 total established farms is how I'll refer to them, and 3 other kind of non-established farms. So we're going to follow this road. Now here you got this kind of crossing of the creek, so again, a bit aggressive. Now coming up over here, going to make a left. And now tucked away back here, we have our last set of interests right here. This is going to be farm number 6. So again, we were here at farm number 5. We wandered over back to our truck, up and around and down to farmland number 85. It can be purchased for $211,752. We'll go ahead and do that. And you can see we have some triggers. We have a wardrobe trigger and a sleep trigger over there. And our silo is tucked away just over here. And that's it. And that is everything here for Rancho Fundo. And now it's time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. Now, one thing I do want to show just really fast is on the map you can see just across this little lake, pond, whatever this may be, there is a blank space there for farmland. If we go into this view here and just kind of go across the farm, you will see that it is a field, but it's just not a numbered field. I think this may be a grass field, maybe? Let's see. No, so nothing's planted in there. So maybe what ought to be a grass field or is going to be, or I don't know, something that you can plant into a grass field for all I know. But now it's time to render my opinion, let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. Funny enough, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story just really quickly. So I didn't recognize this map when I first saw this come to the Mod Hub this morning. And I'm like, oh, Rancho Fundo. Okay, we got another South American map. Nice. So I went in, downloaded it later this afternoon, and then I came on to do my walkthrough. And as soon as I did my walkthrough, I was like, oh, no. I immediately, as I loaded into it, recognized what this map was. I didn't recognize it from the pictures. I didn't recognize it from anything until I loaded into the map. And as soon as I loaded into it, I remembered everything. It just came flooding through. I did a tour on this map back in FS22. So this is a re-release from 22 to 25. And wow. On 22, I loved this map. I gave it a 5 out of 5 then, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 now. I love this map. One of the things I absolutely adore about this map is it just feels like there's so many different, I guess for lack of a better word, biomes, maybe? That's probably the wrong word to use, but that's the one I'm going to use. And what I mean by that is that there's whoa, oh, truck coming, please don't hit me, please let me get up, there we go. So many different biomes. So you got up in the kind of northwest corner, you've got like the town city biome kind of thing. You've got this kind of just really nice established area. But then you get out, going out towards the east, and you get kind of this more rural slash still kind of built up, but still just not as established as the one towards the west. Then you get down towards the south, and it's like country, mountainy, hilly terrain. Some areas are kind of flatter than others, But I mean, it's just so good. It's so good. I love the terrain on this map. I love the color palette. There's some areas in where the flowers are really kind of popping and get some color in there. But for the most part, you've got this. You've got this really like toned down, almost neutral color palette, which is, I think, fantastic. I love that as a more established kind of color tone. Again, you get these little pops every once in a while of color, like outside of the weeds to my left there, but you do get like the wildflowers and the things like that. But just the terrain, the natural ebb and flow of the landscape is just absolutely gorgeous. I just love this map. Like I said, the color palette spectacular. The undulations and the terrain is just next level. Incredible. And the only things that I found on this map that I can even begin to pick at that I don't like about this map, number one, the warehouse. The warehouse, like everything on this map is just nice, custom built. And then you get this one area right up here that's straight out of Riverbend Springs. Straight out of Riverbend Springs. This was kind of the biggest disappointment out of the whole map. And if that's the biggest disappointment that I have, then whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo, not the end of the world, in my opinion. The only other thing, and I mean the only other thing, if I was really trying to find something to balk about and to kind of gripe about, would be the map itself. And what I mean by that is the PDA. It is incredibly hard to find your way and to navigate around this map. It is incredibly difficult. So to try and lay out a plot and where to go and how to get to from point A to point B, like I said, for me personally, it is so much easier just to turn off the colors on the fields and then to just use the farmland view. Then you can kind of sort of make out where you're heading to. At bare minimum, you're able to see better where farmland you own. But I mean, it's just really difficult to travel and to kind of find your ways around this map. But again, it's one of those that you're eventually going to learn. You spend enough time on this map, you're eventually going to learn all the different ways to get from point A to point B and all the space in between. So all that being said, I just love this map. And again, you got this area up here. Again, it's just like a whole another side of this map. You got all these grass fields that are just pre-established onto this portion of the map. And some of these are huge. They're massive. But because of the hills, because of the undulations, there's always one thing that always really bothers me when you get these really large pre-established fields like this, is that oftentimes when you get these large pre-established fields, oftentimes they belong on maps that are incredibly flat and have very little in the way of quote-unquote character throughout them. This map, everywhere you look, there's terrain shifts, there's undulations, there's trees, there's things going on that can draw your eye away from the vastness and makes it just so gorgeous, so interesting to look at and to be around and whatnot. This map, I tell you what, I don't know what it's rated at the moment, but it would be a crying shame if it's anything less than a 5, in my opinion. It's just, I think that this map is amazing. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think everybody needs to go running out, go download this map, and give it a try for yourselves, because wow. I love it. And I can't give this enough praise. Namag Mods made a absolutely amazing map back in FS22, bringing it here to FS25 with all the kind of upgrades that we get from FS25, the ground deformation, being able to kind of go into these kind of dirt roads, these 2 tracks, and just seeing your trail getting left behind, the dirt impressions and all that stuff. It's just phenomenal, absolute phenomenal. And then just the graphical upgrades from 22 to 25 just makes this map really pop and come alive. So yeah, all that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this map tour, and I really hope that you enjoy this map. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy doing. The shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.